Call to order the Committee of the Whole for January the 6th, 2026. The council should have the minutes from the Committee of the Whole from the December 16th, 2025 meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a move to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are approved. Board of Zoning Adjustment. Mayor Pro Tem Whitten.
Yes, sir. We have 3 vacancies. Terms begin January 21, 2026, and end January 20, 2029. Incumbents Mary Boyd has served 1 partial as a supernumerary and 1 partial as a regular member. I would like to nominate Mary Boyd for a second term as a regular member.
Second?
Have a motion and a second for Mary Boyd. Any comments, thoughts, questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And
And
Mary
then-
Boyd is confirmed.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Charles Berry Jr., supernumerary, has served 1 partial term, did not reapply, so I'd like to nominate Malcolm Daly as a supernumerary.
Second.
All right. Have a motion and a second for Malcolm Daly. Any comments, thoughts? Malcolm has certainly been a good servant of our community. He's done a number of things within the city, and I believe he'll do a good job with BZA. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries, and we'll confirm that later on the agenda.
And for the 3rd vacancy, Letitia Smith has served 1 partial term as a supernumerary and 1 full term as a regular member. I would like to nominate her for a second full term.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second for Letitia Smith. Any comments, questions? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries, and we'll confirm all of these nominations later on in our agenda. Questions for tonight, for the city manager? Any questions from the dais? Okay, anything for us?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there a move to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we will adjourn, and for our audience, we'll get started in about a little less than 3 minutes. We'll call to order tonight's Auburn City Council meeting for January the 6th, 2026. We welcome those that have joined us live here in the council chambers, as well as those that are listening on WANI and watching through our streaming services. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first meeting. All right, Lindsay with a roll call.
Adams,
Here.
Koblenz,
Here.
Dawson,
Here.
Griswold,
Here.
Mormon,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Witten,
Here.
Anders.
Here. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. This is the first meeting of the month, and we have a number of employees to recognize.
We're proud to introduce you to our January Employee of the Month, and I have a memorandum here from Brandy Ezel, the Interim Engineering Services Director. Since joining Engineering Services in 2022 as Traffic Systems Technician, Aziza Hurt has established herself as a compassionate, service-minded professional whose dedication to Auburn citizens is evident in everything she does. She approaches every task with humility, curiosity, and a genuine desire to make Auburn streets safer and more efficient for everyone who calls this community home. Aziza's eagerness to learn is one of her defining strengths. Early in her tenure, she earned her Traffic Signal Technician 1 certification from the International Municipal Signal Association. This year, she attended the association's conference to stay current on new technologies and best practices and proactively completed the Traffic Signal Inspector certification. Though not required for her position, this credential has already improved the quality and the consistency of departmental inspections and reflects her initiative and commitment to excellence. Her impact extends beyond traffic technology. She is helping integrate field line locations to support more efficient and reliable line locating efforts. Her leadership also continues to grow through the City of Auburn Academy, organizational development work, and training in areas such as customer service, public speaking, and bid law. Perhaps most inspiring is Aziza's service to the next generation. Through her involvement with Auburn University's Dynamic Divas program, she speaks to high school girls about pursuing careers in technical fields, offering encouragement, guidance, and real-world example of a woman thriving in engineering services. Aziza embodies dedication, continuous improvement, and servant-hearted leadership. It is with sincere appreciation that I nominate Aziza for the City of Auburn's Employee of the Month Award. Congratulations. we're proud today to recognize our state champion girls cross-country team here at Auburn High School again. And this never gets old. And I have a resolution here I'd like to read on behalf of the City Council. Whereas the Auburn City Council is pleased to honor Auburn City Schools, its faculty, staff, and students for their excellent achievements and contributions both inside and outside of the classroom. And whereas the 2025 Auburn High School varsity girls cross-country team was crowned the 2025 Class 7A state champions at the Oakville Indian Mounds Park on November the 8th, 2025. And whereas the team secured their third straight state championship, their eighth in the last 9 years, with grit and grace. Whereas junior Sarah Toll led the charge with a blazing 18-12 to finish second overall, anchoring a relentless team effort that saw Auburn place all 5 scores well inside the top 25. And whereas the Auburn High School varsity girls cross-country team consists of team members Kate Sprantley, Bailey Clanton, Adeline Clark, Maggie Shaw Cox, Bella Crow, Audrey Erath, Claire Erickson, Pitty Fitchett, Reagan Garner, Abigail Hardy, Lundy Jackson, Morel Kaplitz, Siobhan Kane, Hannah Quan Larson, Rachel Lysowitz, Sarah Lysowitz, Harper Martin, Holly McNeil, Abby Murner, Riley Plexico, Mary Lyle Rigsby, Chloe Robertson, Natalie Schoonover, Sarah Toll, J.B. Wade, Anna Ward, Ella Wood, and Brindley Yarborough. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Auburn, Alabama, that the council hereby recognizes and formally congratulates the coaches and players from the 2025 Auburn High School girls cross-country team for its outstanding achievements and exemplary efforts in representing Auburn City Schools in the City of Auburn. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of this meeting and presented to head coach Erica Skidmore, assistant coach Steve Britton, and the team. Adopted and approved by the City Council of the City of Auburn, Alabama, this 6th day of January 2026. Congratulations, ladies. We're proud of you.
What a proud night to recognize our outstanding employees and to recognize our outstanding athletes at Auburn High School. I want to shout out to Venice Harris, Clinton Perry, Gavin Compton, and Rob Rich as they move into retirement. All the best to them, and thank you for their service. And certainly recognizing Aziza Hurt. It was a great blessing to get to know her and hear her story of her hard work and dedication as to where she has come from and where she is now working here in the City of Auburn and the way she's serving our community. Very proud of her and very thankful for all of our employees. At this point in time, I want to just go back through what we did during the Committee of the Whole. We had 3 appointments to make to the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. Mary Boyd was reappointed, as was Letitia Smith, and then Malcolm Daly was appointed to a new term. And we want to thank Charles Berry for his work here and on serving on the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. As far as announcements go, this morning the community market had its official ribbon cutting. This is a project that this city council made a decision to participate in. It was very encouraging. What a great crowd there today. I want to thank Councilman Parsons and Councilman Koblenz for attending. But a tremendous crowd, but a tremendous resource for our community, for those that need assistance in finding their meals for their family. It is a very honorable way for those folks to shop and to find what they need to support their families. And I appreciate the partnership that the community market has with the Food Bank of East Alabama. We've got a real blessing in these people that are volunteering and working there with the community market and the food bank. So great day. And a couple of weeks ago, right after our last meeting, was the grand opening of the new mental health center, the East Alabama Mental Health Center. And another tremendous resource, another resource that this city council made a decision to invest in on behalf of the citizens of Auburn. It is a beautiful building that, again, is an honorable way for people to get through tough times. And I appreciate the dedication of our hospital to seeing this as a need in our community and those in this community that have supported that financially and assisted. And I look forward to lives being changed at the Mental Health Center. It'll be a great blessing to our community. Anyone else on the council have an announcement they'd like to make tonight? Yes, sir, Mr. Mormon.
Thank you very much. It is my understanding that the Philly connection is winding down its operations in Auburn. and in fact may already be closed. The owner of the Philly Connection was a gentleman named Sunel Merchant, and he was in the towers in 9/11, during 9/11. And he has quite a story to tell. And another remarkable thing about Mr. Sunel Merchant is that he has fed the first responders every year since he's been in Auburn at his expense. And it is a gracious thing that he has undertaken many years ago and carried through to today. I want to thank him publicly for that service and wish him well in his new endeavor.
Anyone else have an announcement they'd like to make? Okay, we'll move ahead with Auburn University Communications.
Hello, I hope you guys all had a good holiday season. And so school is starting back this Wednesday for us, which is the start of our spring semester, so we're very excited to be back. And then Auburn University is partnering with Uber for a late night smart ride program, which they're offering $10 off for each trip, and then you get 25 trips a month, which is something super cool and we're all excited about. And then Haley Concourse starting tomorrow will be a wheels-free zone. And then our football team today actually just signed previous USF quarterback Brian Brown, and we think he'll be a great addition to our team. And then our construction for the new Student Center patio is almost complete. And then lastly, SGA is hosting Ask Me Days on the concourse tomorrow and Thursday for our students, where students can come and ask questions they have for the new semester and where classes will be, etc. And so we're very excited for that as well. So thank you. That's all for me, and War Eagle.
Thank you, War Eagle. We're glad to have y'all back, and I think that was the first time we've ever had a recruiting update in the Auburn University report. You know what's important around here, so thank you so much. All right. At this time, we'll move ahead to citizens' communication on items on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to speak to the city council about anything on tonight's agenda, this will be an opportunity for you to come forward. Please share your name and address for the record, and you will get 5 minutes. There's one item at the very end of our agenda, item 10C, that has a public hearing attached. If you'd like to speak to the city council about that, please wait until that time. But if you'd like to speak to the council about anything on the agenda, this will be the time to do that. Okay, seeing no one, we'll move ahead to city manager's communications.
Mayor, I have 2 items under City Manager's Communications. The first is 1 vacancy on the Cemetery Advisory Board for a term that begins upon appointment and will end December 31st, 2030. The appointment will be made at the January 20th City Council meeting. Next is item 7B. It is the Rebuild Alabama Act, and it requires that the city engineer or me provide a detailed written report to the municipal governing body at its first meeting in January each year. The report for fiscal year 2025 is in your packets, will be attached to the minutes, and posted for public review. During fiscal year 2025, the city received $555,360 in revenues from this tax and applied funds to projects that maintain and improve Auburn's transportation infrastructure. Those projects include fiscal year 23, 24, and 25 resurfacing. The total project costs are $2,873,609 and was offset by the $555,000. So in essence, the city will spend $2.3 million on those projects. No action is necessary.
Okay, thank you. All right, move ahead with the consent agenda.
First item of business is the consent agenda. Does any council member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and deal with that item individually?
I would, please.
Yes, please.
8 Echo 5.
E5, okay. Anyone else? All right, 8E5.
Item 8E5 accepts various utility easements as shown on the plat, a revision of Lot 4A, a re-subdivision of Lot 4 of a re-subdivision of Parcel A, Shelton Cove, Sector 1, located at 4809 US Highway 280, also known as Birmingham Highway, and we would be receiving this from Racetrack LLC.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion, second. Ms. Whitten?
Yes, I pulled it because there's been a lot of attention on this development. And can you explain, this is a little bit different because it's shared, the property between Opelika and Auburn, of what this easement means, and then I do have additional questions.
Well, I will have one of our staff members and our development services team talk about the easement. Scott?
Okay, I'll take the easement to start off with. So the city owns and operates the right-of-way along Shelton Mill Road. So part of our requirement for any subdivision action is to get additional easements for, not necessarily for current, but for future utilities and drainage infrastructure that could be needed alongside that, so we won't have to go back and acquire that in the future. So that was just part of our subdivision regulations. Whether or not that's in City of Auburn, Indy County, or Opelika in this case, they still grant that as part of this planning exercise.
Okay, thank you. And then, since we're talking about the racetrack, there's I see that they are open, and there's a couple of questions that I've had from the neighboring subdivision, Shelton Cove, about the buffer and the fencing. Can we review that and talk about, right now I know there's a chain link fence. Is that a permanent solution?
Mr. Wahid Cotton.
Yeah, thank you. So the plans do show a chain link fence, but always going to be in addition to the type 2 or type 3 fence that are going to be required. So that was going to be a stone, or it was either going to be brick or stone or wood, completely opaque fence. In addition to the buffering that they put, so they're kind of averaging about 15, 20 feet around the entire side of it. And so that was one of the comments that was made by one of the planners, and I think it was just resolved in one of the meetings. So I don't have any documentation on that, but that'll be something that we have a meeting set up later this week where we're going to get to the bottom of the fencing situation with things that need to be added back.
Okay, so the chain link fence is a temporary solution, and they'll come back with a more
Yeah, that's correct.
permanent type.
Right, so they're operating under a temporary certificate of occupancy, and they will have to get a full certificate of occupancy to remain open. And so staff is meeting later this week with them about, in essence, it's not a punch list, but the list of items that need to be completed. When you allow a store to open like that with a temporary certificate of occupancy, it's because life safety things are cared for, and they often have minimal landscaping things or other things that need to be complete. Or sometimes they have a supply chain issue or whatever, and we tend to work with them. But they will only be open, they will choose a time frame in this meeting. Staff will work with them on a reasonable time frame depending on what's left for those to be accomplished, or we do have the right to pull the temporary certificate of occupancy if they don't complete things by the date we agree upon.
And do we have that date, or is that a?
No, that will be decided in the meeting based on what's left and what we learned from them. We try to work with the businesses on this, but there are lines in terms of if people take too much time and there's no plausible reason, then we do have the right for them to not be open, which is not our first choice, but it could happen.
Okay, and I know they've been communicative back with not only myself, but also the neighbors in Shelton Cove. But just from our lens, I just want to make sure that we're tracking to ensure that they do what they're
Yes,
supposed to do.
and uniquely and ultimately, the city council may deal with other pieces in it. The hard corner at US Highway 280 and Shelton Mill Road is in the city of Opelika. The vast majority of this property is in the city of Auburn. We've had agreements about plan review and so on, which the city of Auburn has largely undertaken, but we have to finalize some public safety agreements because theoretically, the hard corner is Opelika's and the rest of it is ours, and that can cause confusion. So we're working on those things behind the scenes, and Opelika is a great partner to work with, and we collaborate. And when we're ready, we'll be bringing some agreements to you to memorialize for both city councils that we understand how this works.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we have a motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the consent agenda is approved. Ordinances.
Item 9A1 is a request to annex approximately 85.85 acres of property located on Society Hill Road, east of Nash Creek Drive and north of Mitchell Farms Development for a project known as Cole Place Phase 1. Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of this request at its November 13th meeting. On November 18th, the applicant requested postponement. When it came back again December 16th, this item was also postponed by the council. We've already had first reading back in November. To move this forward and have discussion, a motion is needed.
Move for approval.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All right, we'll open it up for discussion or questions.
Mr. Mayor, I got a few questions. But
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kelly.
It's your ward, go for
Okay,
it.
all right. Mayor, I got a few questions for the developer, if there's a representative in the audience.
Sir, would you please introduce yourself to us?
My name is Michael Dilworth.
Hey, Stillworth, I appreciate you coming up. Couple questions, mainly around, there's been a lot of activity on this piece, I guess, 223 acres total. I know it's been in planning commission, and then we've had some, where it's come back off of our agenda, and now we're kind of settled here on this 85.85 acres, I guess, of this parcel. So the main question I just want to know is why just 85 acres of this whole parcel? Are we just considering that for annexation?
I think the backstory, that's all that we own. That's why we delayed it, because our closing to purchase it got delayed, and the owner did not want to bring any more property in until we actually acquired it. So we have contract on more of the property, so we wanted to, and I think that was at the advice of I think that was following policy of the city to show what the overall strategy was. But then we're acquiring the land in phases, so we're bringing it in phases.
So there'll be another phase and then possibly, you'll consider that for annexation. So we're not going to leave any of this in the county.
I can only speak to 120 acres of it.
Okay.
So there's another phase that we'll be planning to do in about 18 months.
Is that part of this 220?
It's part of the 220. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 85 acres that we're talking about tonight, and then there's another 120 acres.
No, there's 120 minus 85 that we'll be bringing in about 18 months.
Okay. And that'll make up the whole parcel that's part of the George Mann property that's
That's
listed
right.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other question I have is there's how many total lots do you anticipate in this subdivision when it's all said and done across all 220 acres?
Well, again, we don't have any guarantee. We don't have the anything past the 120 under contract, but on the 120 acres, I think we have 39 lots designed on there. Yeah.
Okay. Anything less than 3 acres, or are they all 3 acres plus?
No, that's no, nothing less than 3 acres.
Okay. I think that's most of the questions I had.
Okay.
Kelly, I don't know if you had any.
I'm fine, that answered them, thank you.
Okay.
Just, it's implied that it will stay rural. Is that what we're hearing? There's no indication that it would be anything other than rural.
In terms of the zoning,
Well, yes, correct.
well, the zoning that we've applied for in this, in our, as we annex it, is exactly where we intend to keep it. I don't think there'll be anything beyond that.
3-acre lots and, okay, sounds good. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dilworth.
Okay, thank y'all.
There is it's a conservation overlay on this, right? So
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. But that would allow for less than 3 acres if,
Not really. So the conservation overlay is a result of the watershed that it's in, and so it's automatic. But for somebody to go on to further subdivide to realize the 1.5 acre lots, they would have to follow our conservation subdivision regs, and they're much more stringent than our regular subdivision regs. And so by going this route at the outset, they cannot pivot. Now, even subsequent property owners would not be able to pivot and realize a conservation subdivision and realize smaller lot sizes after this.
You're saying that from a construction standpoint. So
Yeah,
once
correct.
they get infrastructure on the ground, before that, you could pivot if they submitted all the right information.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
So in your packets, there is one drawing where the blue piece is the property Mr. Dilworth was referring to, is Mr. Mann retaining. The gray piece is what's in question now, and the pink piece is what he was referring to as the second phase. And in his piece that he's looking at is 123, everything that's not in blue would total about that, just to clarify.
okay.
And I'll remind you, the Planning Commission had initially looked at an annexation with all of that and recommended approval over the summer, and then time passed where it didn't go on the city council agenda at the applicant's request, and that expired, that initial recommendation for Planning Commission. And when they came back with the 85.85 acres per Mr. Dilworth's conversation with you.
So the area in gray and pink is what ultimately will be considered for annexation at some point down the road. The
Yeah,
pink
gray is tonight and pink would be in the future if it comes to you,
And the blue area is undetermined at this point.
and has not been under consideration, is that correct? Yeah. It's been this way since we've been working with Mr. Dilworth on it.
The staff gave it a low annexation priority. Is there any primary, what's the reason behind that?
No, so that's the annexation priority from I think the original annexation study done about I guess 15 years ago now, and it was given that just because there was no desire to have development out in the watershed. And like I said, I think in past annexations, it's kind of out in this area that the staff's opinion has shifted, and that if it's going to be if there is going to be development in the watershed, we'd rather that it be in the city than that way we do have say in what happens to it.
Okay. Thank you. And then I think I read in here Society Hill Road that's maintained by the county at this point, and it will continue to be maintained by the county even with this annexation. Is that,
At this time, yes.
okay. I believe that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments from council? Okay. Lindsay, with the roll call?
Excuse me. Adams,
Yes.
Koblenz,
Yes, ma'am.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Mormon,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Benton,
Yes.
Anders.
Yes.
Under Resolutions, item 10A authorizes a tax abatement for CSP Technologies at its various locations in Auburn for the acquisition of new equipment. The company plans to invest $17.1 million and anticipates hiring 18 new employees.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Certainly congratulations to our team. Mr. Dunlap, it seems we're doing one of these every month. Is that what it seems like to you? We appreciate the hard work. All right, any other comments, thoughts? All right, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Item 10B authorizes a contract with Watley Construction LLC for the Duck Sanford Concessions renovation in the amount of $516,500.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, thoughts? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Item 10C is since to the vacation of a portion of a public drainage and utility easement at 350 Bragg Avenue, and further authorizes the mayor and city manager to execute a quitclaim deed relinquishing the properties to Hilltop Auburn Holdings LLC. A public hearing is required.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. This time I'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the city council, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to speak to the council. Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. Any questions or comments from the council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Mayor, those are all the items of business we have for you this evening.
Okay. At this time, we'll open Citizens Open Forum. It's your opportunity to talk to the council about anything that might be on your mind. We'd ask that you please come forward and give us your name and address for the record. And you have 3 minutes to speak, and please direct all of your comments to the city council.
Happy New Year. Susan Bolt, 1188 East University Drive. Traditionally, I like to start the new year off by talking about the things that I recognize or use that is good with the city of Auburn that maybe some other citizens don't know about. One that I appreciate is the household hazardous waste collection and the document shredding, and that seems to be a popular thing. I know people are waiting in line for it to open, so it's incredibly well organized and useful. The Christmas toy drive is another thing that it seems that citizens enjoy, and that is beneficial. I appreciate the open line newsletter. It comes printed in my water bill, and I appreciate the information that I might not otherwise get. And Megan, I understand that comes out of your office, so somebody's doing a good job over there. The cooking oil recycling I learned about when I did the Citizens Academy, so I wouldn't have known about that otherwise. Citizens Academy is another good thing that the city of Auburn does. I learned a lot of interesting things there, so I know that's a popular thing that the city does. Also, the Fix It app, when you just don't know who to contact when there's just a minor problem. I've been impressed with the people that handle those complaints, and I appreciate the people that do that. I want to commend the employees of the city of Auburn. I've had an opportunity to deal with some of the people in the water resource management as well as public works, and I appreciate their professionalism and their courtesy. They're always very helpful. the backdoor trash collection option for those who have limited mobility or during sickness. I've not had to use that myself, thank goodness, but I do know some neighbors that needed that service. And I wanted to thank Katrina Cook for personally taking care of somebody that was having an issue with that. So I appreciate you doing that. So a lot of good things are not only happening in Auburn, but happening around the state too. More progress is being made in rural health care on the OnMed telehealth stations. We have one in Lafayette and in Tuskegee. That helps relieve some of the pressure there from people who can't afford health care. Mr. Wilkins and I did a presentation on the harm that the pharmacy benefit managers were causing to the pharmacies around the state. Our legislators heard from us and other citizens across the state and passed a bill to give some relief to the pharmacies. So it is also now a national issue. The Alabama Public Library Service listened to the citizens in science and changed the state library guidelines to protect minors by requiring relocation of materials that positively depict transgender procedures, gender ideology, or concepts beyond two biological genders, classifying them as inappropriate for children. Thank you for your service, and choose to make 2026 great.
Happy New Year.
Who will be next?
Robert Wilkins, 261 Denson Drive, Auburn. Happy New Year. I regret that in 2025, I, Robert Wilkins, was not able to convey to this council, mayors, and city manager the sincere concerns that we Auburn citizens have for the city of Auburn that we all love. In 2025, I personally spent over 900 hours through Auburn's Voice production, producing 29 videos that had over 86,000 views with thousands of likes by our fellow Auburn neighborhoods on Nextdoor.com. I attended many meetings, 19 city councils, 6 parks and recreational, 4 budgets. Neighbors' response, South College Street. We've only been in Auburn 5 years, but I can see the change in the short period. How do we get these deaf politicians voted out? What can we ordinary citizens do to help? Glen Haven, Arnell. I think we're past the point of no return as far as the loveliest village on the plains goes. When Shady Glen is demolished, it will be the last nail in the coffin. Coswald. The city council has a plan for infrastructure improvements, and they stick to the plan regardless of what happens to the property being used for the commercial or residential or schools. Any changes are an afterthought instead of being proactive when usage changes. Hillbrook, Ogletree. I ran in Ward 7 once, all about the money. I did not want to see downtown change either. Feel some of the same sentiment. Cary Woods, you are spot on. The powers that have absolutely ruined downtown Auburn. Greed has governed all that decision. It is really sad. Auburn is now the ugliest town, no longer a village. Glen Haven. What exactly has the Auburn City Council done to improve our city? It appears to me that they just go along with the agenda that is laid out before them. Their decisions are not consistent, and they show favoritism towards certain people. Auburn. I know it's a trend, but it should have said easy to trash, hard to clean. And they got paid to think of this nonsense with the taxpayers' expenses. TV Lee. For the decades I've lived here and followed city council, I've yet to see anything productive come out of Auburn's voicing their concerns. Their mind is already made up before the meeting. It's just a nice gesture to allow citizens to speak. Whippoorwill Estate, sorry. Nice to see someone questioning the spending and wanting better reasons to buy $50,000 vehicles. There have been literally hundreds of these responses like these in 2025. But not out of anger, but out of love for their city of Auburn. In 2026, please listen to your hearts. Thank you.
Who will be next?
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Sarah Collins. I'm at 875 Cahaba Drive. I wanted to thank y'all for all the hard work that you've put in this last year, and for all of the thoughtful consideration that you put into bringing Auburn from a small town to a small city. I am a nerd when it comes to city planning and have done a lot of research on what it takes to run a place like Auburn and have barely scratched the surface. And I know that the amount of effort and coordination and planning that it takes to keep things running smoothly, to make sure that our economy is doing well, to bring new opportunities to the area is a massive undertaking. And I just want y'all to know that we see what you're doing and we appreciate it. And I'm going to continue to educate myself, continue to show up to meetings, and appreciate all that you're doing. To anybody who's interested in learning more about how cities operate, I would encourage them to look up the Strong Towns Initiative on YouTube. There are a lot of great resources, a lot of very interesting, very easy to digest videos to look up. But thank y'all, and appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who'll be next? Okay. We'll close citizens' open forum. Anybody on the council have anything they'd like to add?
I want to ask a question. The development that's coming up on Bragg Avenue. Do you not happen to know how many apartment complexes they're putting up there? Because it's going to be so congested right there once it gets up, and then you got traffic. Oh man, it's already a mess. And I was looking, since they've been building there, because I live right there by it, and I'm just trying to figure out how in the world all of the cars gonna get in and out. Is there only one way in and one way out?
Yeah, so I was waiting for Mike to be turned on. So it's either 38 or 39 townhomes. It's like right at the max of density for the site, because I guess it's 10 dwelling units an acre. And then I guess I think there's 3s, 4s, and 5 beds in there. But I do think, unfortunately, I think they were successful on a waiver request for a turn lane over there, but they're making significant streetscape improvements too.
I mean, they're putting in a big sidewalk and some lighting and so
Yeah,
on,
and-
but was this something that came before the city council?
No.
So it's what?
Conditional use, yeah, but I guess it was all. But yeah, it was the subdivision plat and all that went, because it was the mixed use project on Bragg. But yeah, there's a significant amount of streetscape. I mean, as you see, I mean, it's about a 10, 12 foot difference in between like what the site is versus where the sidewalk is. So that's pretty significant too.
We have Randy Azell could not be with us tonight, but we have Dan Crowdis, who's one of our most senior civil engineers. Dan, do you recall, did this require a traffic study?
No, it didn't trigger. It didn't trigger the requirement.
Based
for a
on the
traffic
unit
study.
threshold and the
Yeah,
number of
just-
bed, it didn't
just the number
trigger.
of trips it's going to generate and the number of units. So it
Okay,
fell
did not
under
trigger that requirement.
Right. And it
But
wasn't-
Justice,
I
you were
think-
saying they did or did not get a waiver for a turn lane? They
I-
did.
I
Who
believe
issued
it
that
was an
waiver? The
appeal.
planning commission? It was not issued by the staff.
Right.
And do you think in our current traffic study that we're embarking on, they will look at the intersection of Bragg and College to see if that warrants a traffic signal of any kind, or traffic? Because it is hard at Bragg and College.
We're evaluating a lot of things, which you have to remember is two signals that close together
Right.
are nearly impossible to deal with. And so sometimes there's options of not allowing left turns and things like that out. So all things will be evaluated, but when you do signals like that and we have the railroad tracks, everything has to work in tandem. And so I'm sure, Dan, if you may not know off the top of your head, we're going to look in a citywide study at all intersections like that. What improvements might be recommended will depend.
Okay, thank you.
To clarify, there is or there is not going to be a turn lane at those?
There is
Bragg?
not.
There is not.
It was waived. A waiver would have been requested of the staff, who would have denied it. The appeal authority is the planning commission.
I think they got left,
The right turn lane is wave, at the left is, we'll have to double check that for you. Let me get you accurate information.
Okay.
One of the turn lanes is wave, but we weren't ready in the moment, so we'll be happy to email the council about that.
So where is this sidewalk?
I'll send you some plans. The sidewalk would be on Bragg Avenue, and then I don't know if they have to do any others on the side streets.
No, it's on the north side of the road. So on their side of Bragg Avenue.
Yeah, I'll be happy to send site plans and things to the city council. We're not overly prepared in the moment to answer all, we don't have the plans up, detailed questions.
And also, while you doing that, the development, I'm fixing to talk about another development that's coming up in my ward, and that's the one over on Martin Luther King, next to the church. Okay, it's gonna be a problem there too, and that I guess didn't come before city council either.
Are you talking about the Slaughter Reserve?
No, I'm talking about Mary Brooks Drive.
Oh yeah. So that was another mixed use project, and so by right there, like on MLK, you can do cottages. Or I guess in CRDW you can do cottage housing. And so one of the things that we talked about from the staff level was that we got them to agree to do mixed use, and so there's going to be commercial on the frontage of MLK, but then on the backside on Mary Brooks, there's going to be housing. That was a by right use, and so then they went the mixed use route at the behest of staff. Like I said, we could have gotten all cottage housing by right on CRDW right there at that intersection.
But I'll mind you, they're not under any obligation to build the commercial. Because sometimes you guys have a question like, why did the residential go first? There isn't an obligation to build the commercial. They've agreed to do it, but if there is not a market and they don't decide to proceed, the housing can open without the commercial being done.
Yep.
Not saying it's a bait and switch. I'm just saying the reality is the housing can get done and they may not do the commercial based on market conditions, which is up to them.
Oftentimes they're different developers. So a lot of guys specialize in one or the other. Oftentimes people do not specialize in both being residential and commercial. They're two different distinct developers. And so the residential guys oftentimes can move faster, just kind of realizing their profits, versus the commercial guys once there's a market coming in. So
there's an area where you can enter on Mary Brooks Drive. I saw that part. It's two, right?
yeah, that's correct. Oh no, it should just be the. I don't have the site plan in front of me, but it should just be on the Mary
Yeah, I
Brooks
think
Drive.
we'll send you plans again because we're not prepared in the moment to respond. I want to be sure we get you the right information. We'll gladly send it to you, Connie. And I can tell you how many, gladly.
But you don't have any idea what type of commercial?
No, I do. So it was gonna be not drive through. I would say more like walk up, pull up. That way, people who lived in immediate proximity could either walk to it, or the people who were driving by could pull up, get something quick, and then leave. And so it was gonna be several commercial stalls, really kind of micro scale. Looking at it was this concept. And other places that they were trying to do here, that was going to be a mixed use with housing in the back and kind of a micro scale commercial up front with several different stalls, so about 4 to 5 different restaurants.
Right, but again, with no tenants in place and so on, I want to caution everybody that the commercial is not, we don't have plans for the commercial. It's not coming out of the ground yet, and we don't have knowledge of tenants. So just want to caution that that's what could go there, but I can't guarantee it will.
How many houses, do you know?
Yeah, let us get you the plans. Yeah, again.
I know we have long desired to have some commercial on that side of town.
Absolutely, and we talk to people about it all the time.
Right.
And so we're willing to work with people as best we can to get right commercial for the neighborhood. But yeah, I just don't want to set expectations that it's moving forward tomorrow.
Sure, absolutely. Any other comments, questions? Okay, is there a move to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we adjourn.